Hello everyone and welcome to Edusurg Clinics. I am Dr. Gunjan Desai and today we are going to continue our discussion on acute appendicitis. What we saw in the previous video was the step 1, that is assessing the patient, HND, that is history and examination, which will raise a suspicion. We saw the various symptoms and signs. A lot of commonly asked questions were discussed and we have already seen the Alvarado score, but this is where we are currently, that you need to now score the patient and see if the patient has low probability, intermediate probability, or high probability of having appendicitis. And that is what will decide the further imaging plan and the management plan. So we already saw the Alvarado score. Just to summarize, the ones in the red have 2 points, all the other features have 1 point. And like I said, less than or equal to 4 is important because it has a very high negative predictive value. If you don't understand concepts like negative predictive and positive predictive value, sensitivity and specificity, we will have a video on that in a separate presentation. There are other scoring systems that are available and they have been found to be better than Alvarado. The one that is used in adults is an appendicitis inflammatory response score, or as AIR score, which is more or less similar to Mentrel's, but what is the change? Remember to add C and remove A and N from Mentrel's. What is C? It is CRP. 10 to 49 is 1 and more than or equal to 50 is 2 points. So that is something that is different. Another important point that is different is the scoring for T, L, and S. Okay, so this scoring is different. For rebound tenderness, you have mild, moderate, and strong. WBC more than 15 is 2 points, and neutrophil more than 85% is 2 points. So this is giving more of a grading into what the mentrals was actually. And AIR in various studies has shown better results than Alvarado. So that is something that you need to remember. Now here the total maximum is 12. 0 to 4 is low risk, 5 to 8 is intermediate risk, and 9 to 12 is high risk. Now, one more scoring system, that is the adult appendicitis score. Again, if you see, what is different is they are grading, guarding, and tenderness. That is something that is graded differently. WBC counts and CRP is also graded differently. And that is what gives you the AAS score. The highest is 23. Remember that 16 to 23 is high risk and 0 to 10 is low risk. Now, whichever scoring system that you follow, like I said, this is the second step after seeing the patient. WBC, CRP will be done in each patient. Look at the trends, identify the score, the scoring system that you feel suits your practice. Remember that all of them have a negative predictive value more than 90%. What that means is that if your patient has a low risk as per the scoring system that you use, you can rule out appendicitis. AIRS and AAS, that is adult appendicitis score, and remember you have a similar pediatric appendicitis score also. These outperform Alvarado by incorporating CRP and a grading of inflammatory response, basically WBC, CRP, and tenderness, and this improves specificity and reduces negative appendicectomy rates. So that is something that is better with AIRS and AAS. Like I said, the aim of this step is to stratify the patients and risk. Now, why is this important? And we will see this algorithm in a bit of detail. But remember that when your patient reaches this step, you have already done the blood test, CBC, CRP, some units do procalcitonin, liver profile, PT-INR, patient may need surgery, creatinine especially because the patient may need a cross-sectional imaging with contrast and urine analysis. Once you have done this, your scoring system is going to give three different possibilities. A low probability, basically, if you see in the algorithm, this is based on Alvarado. Low probability, you rule out appendicitis. Intermediate probability is where all the workup is done. High probability, the guideline may say that you go directly to surgery, but ultrasound is still performed in most of the cases and most of the centers. Intermediate probability is where you have to do a stepwise workup. So this is where now we go into the imaging stepwise. Again, for ultrasound as well as CT or MRI, there will be three outcomes: high probability, inconclusive, and low probability. Low is where appendicitis is excluded in ultrasound, CT, or MRI. High is where you go in for surgical option or option as per appendicular lump management. And inconclusive is where you go towards the next step. So imaging in appendicitis, this is a stepwise workup. Ultrasound is usually done first. The classical line is non-compressible and non-peristaltic, blind ending tubular structure. Wall thickening is more than 2 to 3 mm, diameter is more than 6 mm. If you do a transverse or an end-on view, you may see a target sign. Additional features of periappendiceal fluid: appendicolith will have an acoustic shadow just like gallstone. Increased periappendiceal echogenicity is suggestive of stranding, and you can see an abscess as an hypoechoic collection. Remember that ultrasound has low sensitivity but 81% specificity. Once the ultrasound is done, if the patient was high probability, you can directly go for surgery. If the patient has all these findings on ultrasound, it is confirmed diagnosis, you can go for your management. If it is still inconclusive, then you go for a CT scan in most populations and MRI, especially in children or in pregnant females. In CT scan, you confirm the findings of ultrasound, but you can also see extraluminal air, categorize the various complications of appendicitis. Remember that CT is the most sensitive for complicated appendicitis. You can identify phlegmon and abscess with a high sensitivity and specificity. Similar with MRI, you can see dilated appendix as greater than 7 mm. You can see fluid collection, abscess, which will show restricted diffusion. So that is the benefit of CT versus MRI. You see some of our cases, the appendix is inflamed. You can see here a bit of stranding, that is appendicitis. A big fecalith can be seen here, and this is again a case of appendicitis. Now you also have scoring system that have combined clinical findings and imaging. You can see here age, temperature, pain as per the rating scale. Then you have CRP and WBC count in the SAS 2.0. SAS is scoring system for appendicitis severity. Okay, and APSI is appendicitis severity index. Imaging features that they include are appendix diameter, duration of symptoms, periappendiceal fluid, extraluminal air, and abscess. Some other imaging findings that are included in SAS 2.0 is also the presence or absence of appendicolith, wall destruction, and fat infiltration. Both of them basically give you the probability of complicated acute appendicitis. So now that you saw your clinical assessment, then you did blood test, urine analysis, your Alvarado scoring, or AIR and AAS, whichever scoring suits your practice. Look at low probability versus high probability. Low probability is excluded. Similarly, on ultrasound, you can exclude appendicitis, then go for CT or MRI. High probability, directly go to the next video, which is the management of your patient. Intermediate probability is the only area where you will still need further investigation, and the only investigation that can confirm findings after all this stepwise workup is a diagnostic laparoscopy. So that is something that can be done as the last means of achieving a diagnosis before surgery. Thank you.